Okay, here you go. Alright, start off with, here's the pole that I got from ABC. It's got your fan jets hooked up to it right now. Your fan sprayer. This is pencil jets here. This is kind of a quick release. It just pulls out. You just push in on around the edge of that and it releases it and you pull it out. And you just take it and you force it all the way. It goes in farther than that. Pull some out. You take it, put it in, they say twist it a little bit and push it way up in there. Then pull. And there it's connected. Okay? And anyway, this is the brush I talked about, that how it's got the lower ones down here, or just a little bit rougher than the outside ones. And you can see the fan jet down in there and the pencil jet. This is releases your pole so it slide up and you lock it back. Alright, when I first got this from them, this was what was on the end of the tubing coming out of the pole. It was out like this. It had this green part right here. Don't pay attention to this stuff. It had this green part screwed into it there. And this would hook to either a water hose type deal coming from your unit or whatever you got built up. And it was a quick disconnect there. So I've done away with that. I cut it off right here where it was going to the pole, and where I cut off right here, I added in these fittings here for the air line, the air hose fittings. There's a little nipple in here, it goes up in here. It's a regular clamp, hose clamp in here. I've got it taped over so the edge of that thing wouldn't catch me and cut me or anything. Those pinch clamps, I couldn't find them small enough to fit this hose, so I used a regular hose clamp. That's screwed into this valve. This is a air valve. This is what I use for shutting my water on and off with. That's coming to the pole. Then I've got the male end coming out here. This way, when I disconnect, it runs all out of the pole. This is where I connected in to my line. This is my spool, my 200 foot of 1/4 inch hose that I use to run out on the ground everywhere. See, it disconnects real easy. Alright, here is where I hook it up to my cart. My cart, this was a regular garden hose here. I put the fittings in here to reduce it all the way down to fit this piece for the male on the air hose. Now, the female end off my cart, it comes off the cart like this here, and it just plugs into there. This supplies the water to my spool of tubing. Okay. Here's what I talked about with the D-ring. The D-ring hooks to my belt. I just take my belt out of my belt bucket, or bucket on the belt, as they say. You can take it and put it on, and then over here, when I've got this all spooled out here, I have it turned this direction here and have it hooked to the belt. You can either do it like this and hook it to the belt, and there it's on your side, and when you're walking around, this is trailing behind you as you're going from window to window, and this is right here at your side. You can turn your water off and on with. So you can just turn it off and on as you're needing it. And then you only have to worry about what's on the end of your hose here. You just hold this part here either in your hand, or you can take another D-ring and take some of this and put it in the D-ring, some of the extra, and have it hanging here so it's up here out of your way, so you're not stepping on it and catching it. Because if you get your pole extended all the way out, you have less of this. But when you're working short, you have more to worry about on that. And the rest of this is just on the ground following you. Okay? Okay. Now, let me show you a couple other little things. See, now here's a quick release. When you get done, you unhook your hose from it. This drains, you leave this open, it drains the water out of your hose. Now this one here, so I made this little deal, so it goes right into here. When you're rolling up your hose after you're done working, see, now it's open and the water will run out. I also disconnect here. Whoops, got a little water came out. Also disconnect here, and you can kind of set that where it won't bang around when you're rolling it up, and it gives it air to come out. If you're disconnected here, that gives it air too. But anyway, that's how you just roll it up, let this trail on the ground, and it drains the water out of your hose. Okay, now I'll show you one more little deal here. I made this up with these parts from left over from this. I took this, I got a garden hose connection here, it's got an on and off. I turn the garden hose part off, screw this to your outside faucet in the house wherever you're at or building, and like you would a garden hose, or if you got a this is just to check your pressure. You can screw that on there. You take this pressure gauge here, it's 160, and I stick that inside there, and you screw it onto your house or your faucet outside, and then you turn it on. When you turn it on, it shows you how much pressure you've got coming from that line that you're getting your feed from. That way you know about, if it's going to be enough to run your cleaner or not. Since you're just using the DI, it doesn't, I'm sure 40 to 60 pounds is probably will work good enough for you, as long as you don't get up too high. What you can probably do too is if you figure out what your connections are on your tanks, you can have something like this made up, and when you hook your water up to your tank, to your DI coming out, you can put this on there and take a reading. See, if you've got a hose deal coming out of your tank, your DI tank, you can put this on there and you can take a reading and see how much pressure you've got. And then you unhook, and you can probably go in with your line, your hose line, into that and have that run out to where you're working. So that's a good idea there too. You can think about that. But this will come with your pole. It'll have this stuck in it, and this will be on your tubing coming from your pole. You just cut it off, and this is kind of cool. I think it's kind of neat. This way, this saves you from using so much water and wasting water, and you don't have to walk all the way around the whole house, go over and turn the thing off. If you need to do something, you shut it off here, and it shuts off your water, and you can lay your pole down, go do whatever you need to do, or whatever, and you don't have water just continually running out of your pole. So think about that. Okay, but anyway, that's my spool. This, like I said, just 200 foot of the extra that I use all the time, and I've got still 200 on the front of my cart, the same kind of reel. And oh yeah, when you if you get these from that Home Depot or any place that you buy them from, usually good metal one. Well, see, you've got this hose too. I just said something to you about getting an extra piece of hose to put on your tanks or whatever. Well, you got this piece here. It looks like it's halfway decent. I don't know how good this part is here, but these fittings are really good looking. But in case you need an extra little hose for something for connecting. Oh, here's that tip. When you order your pole, go ahead and order a couple of these tips, and also on this gooseneck, this screws on. See, this is on the end of your pole right here. This screws onto it. Go ahead and order another one of these connections here. The small gooseneck is like $7 or something like that for that easy twist one here. Twist and unlock. See, when you twist it and unlock it, it's too tight. Anyway, you can adjust it any direction. But anyway, order you get 2 of these and 2 of these. That way you've got an extra ones. What I'm thinking about is that with that long pole that you're going to have, you may want to get yourself a smaller pole. And what I could do is make you can get one of those like an Unger 8-foot one, and do like I did in the house. I cut the end of that Unger off, stuck this in there, glued it in there with JB Weld, and let it sit for about 3 days before I even touched it. And if you order an extra brush too, you can have 2 poles. You can have the price of an extra brush and these connections. You got extra connections if something breaks too. But that way you can have you a short pole. But see how long this is all closed up? You'll get into situations where you'll be in tight places, and if you got a 4-foot pole that extends to 8, then that'd be good to have because it's smaller and you can use for smaller areas. So think about that. All right, we'll talk to you later.